Okay, it is live. The wreck that is my room. "30 seconds in. I actually see someone. Hello. How goes it? I apologize for the wreck down there. Got a deformed hip, which can make things a little difficult sometimes. Nope, the one person did pop out. That sucks. Anyway, today in this tutorial, I am going to show how to single set a faceted stone. How well? Okay, so I am getting vocal. That's good. So, the first thing to do when deciding what you want to set is find the stone that you want. It is actually a pretty one. But doing a single set also, like, for me, I don't want to set an alexandrite that's this big because doing so could lose me quite a bit. I might set this lab pink sapphire / ruby. There's debate due to color. So we will set that to the side. Be found with volcanic sometimes. Trying to help people find my page, which isn't super easy to do. So we also have some options over here. Another option that I have. Gotta be careful. It's one of these emeralds. Technically, they are beryl, but people often mistake them. Because beryl is what emeralds are made out of. There's just more inclusions than there is actual. I wish I could figure out where the actual centerpiece of this is. It's up in the corner. Okay. Or I have amethyst. I have just stones for days to choose this on. Smoky quartz. I think I'm going to do this smoky quartz. So, step 2, after you've picked out your gemstone, is picking out the proper wire to do the wrapping in. Normally, unless it is a really just ginormous gemstone, Chibi, hello. Thank you for showing up. I am doing a tutorial on single set mini pendants, which I set somewhere. Yeah, they were in the picture of these little things. Just taking a faceted gemstone and setting it into a pendant. Just trying to get content up. So anyway, for this, I am going to use 24 gauge square sterling, which might be a little overblown for the smoky quartz, and 24 gauge half round. If I was doing a bigger faceted stone, I'd probably use 22 gauge square or 20 gauge square. Appreciate you coming by, Chibi. So, I know I talked about it a lot during... This is the bracelet that I'm working on. I just had to pop this in there. It's all sterling silver. Has a locking mechanism to it. Slowly but surely getting there. I've been working on that for 2 months now. And like $300 in sterling silver later. I am going to cut out 4 or 5 pieces. It can be either. As long as it's 4. I've been practicing for a minute to get to the level where I could do that bracelet. It's not quite the level of the person who I'm trying to get. I don't want to say to their level, but pretty much trying to get to their level. I'm not close, but I'm happy with it. Since I've only been doing this for like a year. Let's see here. It's kind of hard to tell the participants. Step 2, straightening out said sterling wire or copper. I have most of this in copper too. Although the nice thing about sterling is you can get half round wire in as small as 24 gauge in sterling silver. I have not found that anywhere else. Okay, so specific. I should say step 1 is probably make sure you have the exact tools that you're going to need at your disposal. Please excuse me for a second. I got to figure out where I put my mini pliers or where they fell. It's also another thing. Probably do this without them if really, it's not them, but it'll do. Forced to. I lost a piece, didn't I? That is why we cut an extra. Okay. Now, I probably waste a lot of sterling. I've actually got a 2-ounce bag of scraps. I don't recommend that for everybody. So if you can avoid wasting sterling by figuring out the exact measurements of what you're doing, probably wiser than I am. But we will start. I don't know how I have like none of the actual tools I use all day long next to me. Those will also be helpful. By getting these all relatively flat, and in roughly the middle, folding our wire over. I've been nervous working with Pierre's chainmail. Yeah, honestly, I was nervous at first too with sterling. And then I got myself a bench grinder. And I can do stuff with the solid metals that like I cannot do with other metals. For instance, this was one I was super, super nervous about using, and this is just 10K. Actually, that's 14K, but I mean, I have 10K wire. I have 14K wire, and like when you're using the not gold filled, but the pure, you can literally, you're counting like dollars sometimes when you're wrapping with pure gold. And I get it. Like this piece here, I kind of consider a waste right now. Come on. I don't like how it turned out. And I've got a bunch of, well, I mean, it's not much, but that's pure gold in it. And when you're talking pure gold, that's a lot of pure gold. Like there's $5-10 of pure gold in that thing. This is why I'm broke all the time. That and the mass assortment of gemstones. I know Iris wasn't. Chibi, were you here when I had my stone tray out? Or, well, one of my stone trays? I know neither of you were here when I had the vault open. But, you start working with certain stones and you have to be putting them in sterling. Like I was contemplating working with this originally, which it's a lab made, but still, even at lab made, like you feel a little bad about putting that into copper. So I'm gonna pick which one of these to use. Oh yeah, no, sterling wire is like the way to go, Iris. As I showed Chivy a second ago, like yeah, you definitely can melt it down. Thank God. Like I said, somewhere around here, I've got a bag full of all my sterling scraps. I'll break it out again. I love showing off my stones. Let's see if cool thing about camera is it will actually act as a loop for you. If I almost feel like I can't wrap one of these. I'm gonna break that stone tray out again. I want to see. I might actually wrap something else. Let's see, stone tray 1, stone tray 2. What color? I almost want to do one of these amethysts. Moderna citrine. I want to wrap a Moderna citrine. Tools. You know I had it just a minute ago. I need to stand up again. There we go. That's more like it. Let's wrap that. Unfortunately, I'm saving these. Come on, give me. But they are for citrine, they're something else. It was okay. I just wanted to use the glove to clean off the stone so I could get a good look at it. Quick. So, measuring, we can I'm going to do one more. And this is like something you just have to do each one to each different stone. You'll massacre a couple of them. It happens straight up. Get some cubic zirconia if you can, and you can do this with round wire and half round. So get like 24, 22 gauge round wire, and just make a couple of these out of cubic zirconia. So first I'm going to take these 3 wires on the bottom, We're gonna go with 2. I do these differently every time. I'm gonna point them down. This will somewhat come in handy a little later. What I won't be able to show is the polishing process afterwards, and it really makes the difference throwing a patina and then a polish in. But then I'm going to pull these up, and I just am going to want them even. So first I'll get them bent, and then I will, as Vaughn puts it, smush them together. I saw something on 2 that looked pretty. There's a lot of them. I just got in 2 orders that were 100 carats each, and like verifying each and every one of those stones was a pain, especially because they just decided to, like, one was blue topaz and they threw in like 15 carats of aquamarine into it just randomly. Next step, center, is to bend the wire back going straight. So we're basically bending up some prongs and hoping they're going to be placed well. I'm going to test the stone to it again. Looks like it's going to do well there. And the next step is to wrap between these. So just we'll want to wrap on those, flattening them out every couple wraps with a pair of pliers and trying to keep them straight. And again, that distance will be different for each and every different stone you decide to put in. Cast pieces, but not unwrapped. I know it makes a huge difference, though. So if you go to my self-promotion, celestialreach.etsy.com, you can see, like, a lot of my pieces I will polish, patina, and then do a finish polish and get rid of most of the patina, but it adds just enough contrast in there to just make it really nice. I've got some cool aqua. Actually, I got some cool aqua on hand. That's just raw aquamarine. Citrine's iris have such a great span of color, from the regular citrine to this madrina, like that red. I've literally seen this put into gold before. I'm going to apologize. I drink Monster Energy drink like it's going out of style. I will also occasionally hit a fog machine somewhere, so it gives a nice little atmospheric effect. So, because you guys are like the first people to actually show up for one of my live streams specifically, what would you guys like to see tutorial wise? One thing I'm trying to work on is a piece by piece on something like this. It's custom that I'm doing for somebody for $1,000. Um, but it's got so many different steps in there, and like with the disability and all the time stuff I have going on, so difficult to do. But I mean, step by step, I can teach the simple, like, this is how to do a multiple stone setting, which someday I'll throw in. Miles McDonald has one on that too. If The Art of Wire, which is who I've learned a lot of this from ever since I did a good job on a dragon's eye. I was like, well, God, I gotta step up my game now. I need a new style. So Vaughn will always be sensei. Like, she got me into this with her dragon eye tutorial. Wow, I just made the mistake of Tanzanite. Okay, so I made the same mistake Vaughn makes, and it's actually hard on my screen to put this into live chat, but always forget the name of that you actually like. Tanzanite? Tanzanite comes in so many colors. There's the low grade. So this is low grade Tanzanite, or lower grade Tanzanite. I have really low grade too. And then here's some better Tanzanite. This is a 9x7 in that one corner. That one was very expensive. It's actually in my shop for, well, not like I'll use it in a custom or something for somebody, but it's $350 just for me to use the stone. You're starting off your piece really expensive at that point. But people do. I've gotten several orders that were over $500. This is my first order that's for over, or that, hits the $1,000 mark, but super stoked about that. So I'm going to do a quick test. I'm going to bend these in. I'm just going to test where and how this stone is going to set. It's almost time to make some more prongs. Tanzanite definitely can be super flashy, but I mean, I see, and I can't turn my flashlight on. Uh, a lot of stones can be flashy. It depends on the cut. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Chibi. I get it in a way. I've got a deformed hip, so I'm unable to do a lot of things that most people can do. In fact, most of my life is spent in this chair, um, which is why I've gotten probably this good in the 11 months that I've been doing it. Is Hi Yoshi. Oh, holy crap, Levi. I'm doing a tutorial. Excuse my language. I have not gotten completely out of that. Anyway, as I was saying, the flashy comes from cut. I have seen tanzanite that were good stones, but they were cut poorly, and then the a good lapidary gets a hold of it, and they will cut it and make it look just fantastic. Um, it is amazing how much the cut actually matters. There's a lot that goes into it, angles, um, and all that type of, yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot that just goes into grading gemstones. Something I've learned the hard way. Now, before I go too far, trillion cuts can be done really, really cool. And before I end this, I'll show you 2 cuts of trillion, on both done on an amethyst. And Levi, that's, yeah, but that's because you can barely walk. I was talking to someone else on here. Anyway, I'll show you 2 trillion cut amethysts that are. Oops. That's the most expensive thing I've dropped today. Where you can see just like the difference in how they were both cut makes a very different product in each. Oh, hey, we're about perfect on that. Set that there. Yeah, there's a lot, Iris. There is gemstones. I didn't quite realize what I was getting into when I decided I was going to step up my game into the heady pieces and start using really nice gemstones. But I had to learn fast, and I've probably learned via a couple $1,000s. Princess cut is another really cool, especially when done right. I might have a couple aquamarine done in princess cut. I know I have some chrome diopside in a princess cut that are really nice. So we'll do the same thing in the back. Creating these. Take it easy, Levi. Little prongs. Creating prongs. And trying to keep them flat with each other too is another real skill that comes about. Ooh, I forgot a step. So, in the beginning, I brought these down. And now I'm going to want to bend them back, which can be difficult. Especially to do so and leave just a little space there. Which sometimes is going to be needed too. Yeah, the emerald cut. Did you see that giant emerald cut lab grown alexandrite that I had? Oh, come on. Your dog's barking. Two things about that. A, I don't have any dogs. Dogs bark. Sorry about that. Whatever that blackout was. Oh, it did it. Repairs in this sometimes have to happen. There were a few. A magpie. So I'm going to cut a long strip of this 24 gauge half round. I broke the detail piece that I was working on because that particular connection is being difficult. Since I was reaching in that area. I have that lab cut or emerald cut lab ruby. That's an alexandrite. There's a couple princess cuts in this chrome diopside. And I'm going to pull this out for that talk on trillions. Actually, we'll pull out a couple different trillions. Have a quick discussion here in a bit about the cut of gemstones and how it's really what makes or breaks a gemstone. So this, and it's not wanting to cooperate, is forcing my hand a little bit. But that's okay, because this is not my first rodeo. Important part is first getting this to fold. Over more than one time, too. We have some tails that I'm going to have to cut off a bit later, but that's okay. Tails are perfectly acceptable to cut. It's just another little bit of sterling silver that goes into the waste bag. Okay, now on the other side. I want to try to make this as even as I possibly can. I always prefer to bend the pair of wires together if I can, because they just stay together so much better that way. I agree, Chibi. So Vaughn, some of the wraps that Vaughn taught me, and that I worked with, I then started implementing in smaller fashions. So, like, for instance, take that pumpkin wrap today that she was doing using 18 and probably 21 gauge. I will go down to using like this 24 gauge as the main frame, and then I will utilize 30 to 32 gauge for detail. And so, like, I have made some real mini tiny pendants in the same style that, like, I learned from Vaughn. I'm so glad I ran into her tutorial. All right. I'm going to come up in here. I'm going to cut this tail. I've got a little pile of scrap sterling silver over there. Oh, that one's lost. It'll probably become a sliver that will plague me for the next month. Deal with it later. So, real quick, give me to get an idea of how this will fit. Pretty well. Actually going to bend these a little more. So I work with, well, I mean, commonly I will work anywhere from 10 gauge half round. But with that said, like, I have been known to use 8 gauge as well from time to time. And I will also use all the way to 32, rarely 34 gauge, but 34 gauge is possible for detailing. The smallest frame I'll go is 24 gauge, and it's got to be really small, like a single stone like this. Although I will use like 26 and sometimes 28 for setting super small stones, but that's just setting. Okay, so then we bend these into hooks, and we want to make sure they're all even. I didn't get this one perfect. And by even, I mean like they're going to land in the same place and go the same-ish direction. This sounds great in theory. In practice, it doesn't always work out as well. Slip the stone in there. And now, really important part is to pull this together as tight as you can using your half round and do a couple quick runs around it using that said half round. And I'm actually moving both half round wires around this at least once. The one I'm going around 2 or 3 times with. So now we have the citrine set. Now 32 gauge, like if you're wanting to get really good detail on something, and even 34 gauge, like if you want just tiny little detail, you can get some amazingly good detail using like 28 gauge and 32, 34 gauge. And I'll do it on the bale for this. I'll show you the kind of pattern that you can do that's just it's insane. So to do said pattern, what we'll do is we will pull out 3 wires. We'll bend the first 2 down because 2 of them are shorter. And then I've got wire 1, wire set 2, and wire set 3. And what I'm going to do here is that top 2 wires. Let's see if I can. Okay. I'm going to wrap this around. Yeah, 3 times. And I'm going to flatten. And then, and this can be done to make bracelets. So after I've wrapped the wire around, I'm going to bend each one out. Then I'm going to take the next set of wires and I'm going to wrap them up and over, bringing them together. I'm going to take that 32 or the half round that I wrapped around before, and I'm going to combine them together again. This isn't quite looking the way I'm used to it looking, but we're going to keep going because it'll turn out that way, and then I'll adapt. Most important thing. Hello, Kelly. Yes. I've got a deformed hip, so my cleaning just does not do good. I am using 24 gauge right now. 24 gauge squared and 24 gauge half round. And I'm going to wrap around again. And then after wrapping 3 times, which my wire got a little switched around, so I'm going to attempt to rectify that. One, 2, come on, work with me here. There we go. And I'm going to bend these out to the sides again. And now I'm going to take that first pair that I had wrapped or did the coil around. I'm going to wrap it up and over. And let's see here. There we go. Kelly, were you the one asking me about the spessartine? And for rings, you can do prong style rings pretty simple. Oh yeah, you can wire wrap faceted stones all day. I've got 2 fire agate cabs in this and a black opal, and everything else in this is all faceted stones. Which, yeah, spessartine in here as well. I have another jar, I think, somewhere. Anyway, back to, so I will keep doing that pattern for my bail on this, which, come on. Yeah, I see. I have this thing where, for me, this is my art form. Metal is my palette, and gemstones are my paint. And so I have to have every color. And for orange, there's spessartine or spessartite, and then there's orange sapphires, really. Rainbow tourmaline. Um, oh, I would have to dig a little bit, I think, for my tourmaline selection. Here's some of it. Oh, I know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm getting a couple diamonds just because it's profitable, because as you said, Americans, but well, I've broken this out a couple times now. That's just one tray. I've got some more. Diamond is old. Zircon is older. Unless you mean like getting old as in boring. Rainbow tourmaline. Do you mean like watermelon, or maybe I might not have it. I don't have everything. I am working on getting some more. Okay, yeah. I probably don't have rainbow yet. Give me some time. Now that you've piqued my interest. I think one of my favorites personally, and I know it's kind of silly because it's, like JTV's pet. Well, both of them, chrome diopside and tanzanite. Um, Tanzanite was my first. Oh yeah, most of my a lot of the people I buy from bought from JTV. And then I ended up getting them from them. I had one lady, she traded me to make her pendants like this. She sent me like 300 carats of gemstones. And I was like, you want 3 pendants in a ring? Like, can I have creative license on one of those pendants so I can send you like something stupidly amazing? And I literally modeled it after like a necklace that I saw on a Indian prince. Okay, so I've got a little bit of this pattern going on for a bail. I think I'm going to do 2 more, and then I'm going to bend it back around. Yeah, I know. Tanzanite is... yeah. I'll concur. Tanzanite, or not Tanzanite, diamond's boring. I like Tanzanite. I really do. It's funny. I because I prefer working in fire colors because they have more burn to them. Literally, like that looks amazing. Ooh. That was a text message I got to reply to. 1 second. I might have to take a 5-minute break at some point. Oh, wow. Uh, I I am amazed JTV messed up like that, but at the same time, I'm not. I mean, they're not the greatest quality. That said, like I have yet to have anything that, because I don't buy my stones from JTV personally, but a lot of the people who have supplied to me did for many years, and the stones that they send me I have yet to have one that was marked something. I take that back. We had this, but the receipt was for $35 and it was a set of 3. So I think the lady was confused and she thought she was getting a 5-carat tanzanite. And it's pretty. But you ain't getting no 5-carat tanzanite for $5. When I put it on the refractometer, it turned out to be cubic, of course, which made me super sad. But it is what it is. I mean, cubic has its place. So I've got a tail there. I'm going to tie out real quick. And I've got to think about how I'm going to tie a lot of these pieces in. This can go differently every time, and this time it is going uniquely for some reason. I make these fairly common. I've got a copper one with moldavite. I've got a ruby one somewhere. Yeah, no, that cubic is definitely it's pretty. Sorry. I had to reply to this girl. She's coming by to pick up a large amount of. Oh yeah, no. I like I said, that one that I've got that'll retail for $350. It's like a carat and a half. It's not 350, three. I can reasonably get 300 for it. That was not the piece I wanted to cut so much. Oh well. So, one thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these top two and I'm going to see if there's a way to. Of course not. Sometimes there's a hole in the middle of that type of weave that makes it so I can tie it through, but instead I'm having to wrap it around through the back, clamp it down, and then I'll cut. And then I'll do the same thing or really similar with this side, except for I'm going to go all the way around once. I don't like where they put my. A D mine? Can you explain, Kelly? And that 5 carat, it's cubic. Okay. A 3 pair a few years ago. Okay. Blue and green are nice. See, I live up in Montana and we get sapphires that are natural. No, Kelly, I'm wrapping a Madeira citrine. Four mines on the planet. Kelly, where are those? Are all in Tanzania, correct? Or is there some that I am unaware of? Okay. Where do you find? I've been trying to get information on what's going on with the mining of Tanzanite right now. And I'm like having trouble. Where are you getting information from? Just out of curiosity. Also, at this point, I'm going to wrap my remaining two. I really hate how I'm having to angle this. That's better. Up, behind, and in. I forget if California has a stone. Oh, I'm sure California has tourmaline mines to my knowledge. Or, well, you can, I don't know if it's an actual mine or not, but there is tourmaline in that area. Cut off this again and lock it down. Then I'm going to take this side. Results of a meteor. That's fair. On the oh, which is the result of a meteor? Oh no, I totally understand. I have another one coming in. I was just showing off this. Montana, I did not know Montana has labradorite. What I do know Montana has is sapphires. I have friends that collect sapphires in the area, actually. I might do well to have discussions with you on said research, because I'm discussing with somebody right now opening up a gem and jewelry shop for tanzanite. Mines in caves in America, infective spores that cause bats, causing them to get. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me, honestly. We probably kill more stuff on the planet than any other species. Like, yeah, it's like the worst predator, even when we're not trying to be a predator. So I'm going to bend this side down. Except for that's a little too far out. Again, I'm going to wrap a little bit in, giving me a little bit of a spiral rose in the middle. This is another one I'm going to wrap in and behind. And again, like this point, details are going to be random with everything I create. Yeah, that one in the upper corner is nice. No, that's already faceted. I have facet, or I don't know if it's fat. Oh, for the sapphires. Yeah, that's not facet grade rough, but I do have some facet grade rough in the carat and a half area. Um, I mean, probably more of that is facetable than the friend actually. She was just texting me because she's taking some of my work to a convention tomorrow since I do the farmers market. But yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, of course people don't clean their stuff beforehand. That's just too much work. Sorry, I have a really bleak outlook on people sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to cut this a bit short. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend a piece of it in like that. Now, when you're working through this, you're going to want to keep things from going across the middle. But if you have something on the sides, it's a lot less noticeable. Definitely can be difficult to secure things so they don't move. If you wrap around, of course she has permission to sell. We would never ever be trading in gemstones, you know, illegally, untaxed. Take your pick. Just wouldn't do it. Total law abiding citizen. 100%. I've also been like sober for 2, 3.5, almost 4 years. Except for I still crack open a tall boy every morning, but it's Monster. Now that I've got this kind of done away with and neatened up, I need to do something with these. And these are kind of easy. I'm going to take each one and I'm going to twist them up. Square is really fun with how it looks when it twists. Hey now, when it comes to trustworthy with my gems, I can say this. See this little machine here? Not the vape, but that's a refractometer, which is on right now because I was doing testing of gemstones. If you get a gemstone from me, and I am telling you it is real, it is really real. I will also tell you if it's lab created or not. As long as I know if it's lab created. And if I have a doubt, I'll also tell you that I have a doubt. For instance, like this sapphire here, it's totally lab created. I won't mislead somebody by saying lab created because cubic zirconia is lab created. That's total BS. This pink sapphire is corundum. It is a pink sapphire. It is optically, chemically, pretty much the same. It is corundum. with that said, like it's not the same as a cubic zirconia that looks like a pink sapphire. Oh yeah, of course it's a nice pink sapphire. It's lab created. Lab created stones are beautiful. And they're a very economic choice too when it comes to getting gemstones. It's not natural, so it's not as expensive. Um, Oftentimes though, like natural stones in the same price range are gonna have inclusions and such. I like some inclusions. Huh. Yeah, not everybody's appreciative of the vape, and yeah, I know what you meant about the permits. I'm just, like I'm as trustworthy as I can be. I need to get my taxes in better arrangements, that's for sure. Because I would actually like to have that in better, especially with the fact that I've like lost money in my business this year. Oh yeah, no, it is the only way that you should be selling lab created stones is honestly, or even simulants. I will put simulants into like that tanzanite. It's a cubic zirconia, the 5 carats, so I shouldn't call it a tanzanite, but the tanzanite simulant. It's beautiful, and I will put it into a pendant someday. But whoever buys it's gonna know that it's a $35 cubic zirconia and not really a tanzanite. I see people on Etsy and eBay and Mercari selling for $500 these stones that are either lab created or fake. And it's just not okay. I should have shown. I got excited. After twisting them, you just kind of wrap them down, put them flat. Come on. Put them flat down and then twist them or looks like I gotta do this one again. Just get it in close. Mother. And tie it up in there. And there we go. We have a Madeira citrine sterling silver pendant that I cannot get to look right on there. White sapphires can be stunning. Sapphires are awesome. So, now that I'm done with that, we have. No, wrong. Magic trick failed. A discussion on trillions. Here is 1 trillion. Dirk. it doesn't have a lot of window, but it does have some window in it. Like you can kind of see. Sorry, my phone's camera does not like to work with me, but you can kind of see window in it. Parasolite. I do have some on hand. Versus like this particular trillion, which is specialty cut. And you can just see like how just crazy beautiful they can be when they're cut right. Versus this trillion, which, I mean, it's not cut wrong, it's just the angles aren't right necessarily. So here's a quantum cut quartz trillion. JTV. Let's see here. Where is... Yeah, the specialty cut is something else. Here's the aquas I was talking about. Blue zircon. I do have some... I have an apatite. 3.5 carats. It's got some inclusion going on in it. There's some sapphire. I got rocks for days. And this is just like my faceted collection. Well, not all faceted, but mostly faceted. Yes, depends on how deep the pavilion is. Exactly. That creates, see, like, I buy bulk. So you'll notice, like, this whole section over here is all amethyst. I got some opals up top, but, like, I've got... And I'm thinking I should go through and pull out some of them that I don't love a lot. I do believe that is what that is. Same with this. That's labradorite. Labradorite. Check these petro quartz out. Green one. So I'm going to have to throw this on the refractometer. It's either labradorite or this is parasolite, which I have a better example of parasolite somewhere. Oh God, fire opal. The whole top corner up here is fire opal. And the camera's not showing it super great, but it has... Come on. It has some fire to it. Oh, you're good, Chibi. Oh, don't. Being a nerd is good in this trade. Trust me. I have learned too that if you're gonna be selling and dealing with gemstones, you need to learn. You need to learn real fast. Because people will take you for every cent you are worth in this game. They will happily sell you fake gemstones. But then I want to say, like, there's also really good people out there who, like, I know one girl, every time I make an order of mold device, she sends me a grip of random stones, and I've picked out diamonds out of those random stones, literally. So, let's see here. Can I get the refractometer in view? Kinda. I want to test what that is real quick. It's such a mess. Clean the screen up. Speaking of tanzanites, these are the cabs that I've been using to do mini pendants with. I love doing mini pendants. Okay. I might have to take a break here in a bit. But that is parasolite. It is parasolite. Prasiolite. Although it is really close to quartz, I mean, there's not a lot of color in this one. God, I hate the camera. I think the camera hates me too. Refractometer is the best investment, well, that and the player scope behind it, that I have made in this game. Because I've been able to quickly vet sources. I'll go make a small order. They send me whatever it is, and I learn what it is they're going to, or they're sending me. And that is nice. I want to break out the nice stones real quick. A lot of these are lab. So I have a thing about moonstone. Come on. Yeah, we're going to have to break off the lid. Yes, I am going to need a director, I swear. See if we can get these without breaking the lid off. Well, sometimes you can't. These don't look it on camera, but they are crazy clear. Like super well cut. Moonstone are some of my favorites. Why that custom? Like, the guy got a really good one, and it just, like, right now, you can't see it, but it's just blasting blue. You can kind of see how it. See what happens when I give it a little bit of shade. Yeah. Tanzanite, blue topaz, chrome diopside, peridot. Oh, if I've got faceted moonstone coming out of this box, that it's because it has just the most amazing flash that's been seen by mankind. Still working on this pendant. They gave me $500 down payment for it, and another $500 upon completion. It's taken me about 8 to 10 hours to do this so far. Another great example of that's just gorgeous. Oh, diopsides, yes. Spinel, blue, lab created. Topaz, both of them, all natural. Great deals. Topaz is a good one. I love topaz. Okay, that blue one is not all natural. I gotta take that back. It's been irradiated. All London blue topaz. That blue one was spinel. 3 forms of feldspar in here. and then a pink sapphire. Right? Like, diamonds aren't the only nice round white stone out there. Moonstone's the best. Well, guys, yes, that last one was aquamarine. I have to finish getting... I gotta show it. Golden zircon. I have a pendant on my Etsy too of it. The best golden zircon that I have. It's a little mini pendant. Come on. I can get it. I can get it. There we go. It's done in this style. Which one? The blue topaz? You're probably a bit behind me, Kelly. Although you're probably right. There's a lot that I have that I don't, that I could be wrong about. I've only been doing this for like 6 months at this point. But I'm learning. Like I said, I will be honest if I know something's not legit. I'm going to be honest about it. Do a lot of these mini pendants as well. Again, celestialreach.etsy.com. I've got quite a bit of product. Not trying to compete with anybody, but I might or might not have some certain types of pendants up that are like $30 or so. Anyway, I have to get running because I got to get prepared for the market. I really appreciate you guys showing up and helping me drag this live stream out so long. I had fun and I enjoyed it. I am going to try to schedule live streams for Fridays or Sundays or something. I'm going to start trying to do this more often. Because I enjoy it. I love what I do. Glad to help, Iris. Chibi, thank you. And yeah, I hope to see you guys again. Is there some way that I gotta learn how to... I gotta get my own website up. It's up. Like, I literally own celestialreach.com. It's just a giant coming soon and has been for a year now, but get that worked out. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you again sometime. Peace.